This video will go over how to enter locations into FUDSChem using the interface. Locations can also be uploaded in a flat file, which we go over in our Loading Locations to FUDSChem via Flat File tutorial, linked in the description. Go to Tools, Data Submission. Select the project and event. Select Location Definition, LDI, as the data type. Click Create a File. Enter the first location, for example, CRB-MW-004. Following the best practice, our loc ID includes a 3-letter site indicator, CRB for Camp Richards Base, a 2-letter location type indicator, MW for monitoring well, and an identifying number. For more information, please refer to our Best Practices Naming Conventions video, linked in the description. Note that a location ID is not the same as a field sample ID. The location is the geographic coordinates where samples are collected. The samples themselves will be assigned their own ID. Depth and sampling date are not part of the location ID. We go over how to enter field samples in our Event Management and Field Data, ChemField, entry tutorial playlist, linked in the description. Next, enter all known information. Any fields we leave blank will automatically populate with placeholders once we screen the file. Choose the location classification. Only the first 10 items are shown in the dropdown. Click where it says items 1 through 10 out of the total number of items to expand the list. Alternatively, start typing to make the list jump to that letter. We'll jump to W to find well for this example. Location proximity describes where the location is relative to installation boundaries. In this example, we will choose within installation boundaries. Established date is when the location was established, such as the well installation date or first sampled. For this example, we'll use August 3rd, 2014. The establishing company indicates who established this location. In this example, we'll use USCN for USACE New England District. If the company you need is missing, please reach out to your Synectics point of contact. This goes for any dropdown that lists organizations or companies. Fields marked with an asterisk are required. Other fields are optional. If a required field is left blank, it will populate with placeholder data once the file is certified. If you use placeholders, please update them as soon as possible, following the process in our Updating Location Information tutorial, linked in the description. Borehole depth is required for boreholes and wells, but does not have an asterisk as it is not required for other location types. The description should help a user find the location or give additional information. For this example, it will be south of building. Northing is 1979800.77. Easting is 6704619.51. In the case of a decision unit, the coordinates for the centroid should be used. The spatial reference ID defines the coordinate system that was used to plot the coordinates. For this example, we'll use NAD 83 State Plane California Zone 2. The row below automatically updates based on this selection. State plane coordinates reported in US feet are required for FUDS projects. Though other fields will use placeholders if left blank, the SRID defaults to the first option in the dropdown and does not populate with a placeholder. Be sure to update the SRID as appropriate, Next, for this example, the coordinate method is estimated. Elevation is 25. Elevation method is surveyed. Elevation units are feet. Drilling company applies in the case of a borehole or a well. We'll use CALT for Cal Water drilling. Excavating company is not applicable for this example because excavating was not needed for the construction of this well. Construction method is HS for hollow stem auger. Borehole diameter is 8 inches. The geophysical log field is used to indicate the FUDS property and will be automatically filled out with the correct value. In the case of a decision unit, DU, a KML file detailing the shape of the DU can be uploaded by clicking Select KML File to import. That does not apply to this example. Click Save. Note that each location is associated with a LocID status, which allows you to mark it as planned, in progress, or final. The LocID status is not shown in the interface and will default to in progress for this location. If you're submitting a flat file, you can populate the status however you like. Over the life of the project, you will need to resolve placeholders and change the LocID status to final via a location definition update. For more information, please refer to our locations workflow video, linked in the description. For our next location, we can click Add to fill out a blank template or Copy to start with a copy of the information we just entered. Often, locations have information in common, so we'll save time by clicking Copy and changing the information that's different. In this example, we'll change the location name and coordinates. Everything else for our wells is the same. We would continue loading our locations until all of them were entered. Afterward, click Save and close the interface. Click Rename. Give the file a name that will make it easy to identify later. Select the file and click Screen to screen for errors. If there are errors, click on the number of errors to view an error report. Make any necessary updates, then save and screen the file again. Once there are 0 errors, click Certify to send the file into the queue for review. Once you have certified the file, ask your review point of contact to review and approve it. Depending on your district, this may be someone at the Corps or at Synectics. For more information, please refer to our Location Definition Review tutorial video, linked in the description. Once locations are approved, the next step will be to enter a site location cross-reference file. For more information, please refer to our Location Site XREF Entry tutorial video, linked in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to the FUDSChem YouTube channel for more tutorial videos. All of the tutorials and playlists mentioned during this video are linked in the description below. Lastly, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact us at fuds.support@synectics.net. Thank you.